Today, we'll dive on how to create the best tones with your Matribox II PRO. Want to find out? Stick with me! What's up fellow budget tone chasers, welcome back to one more video here at the channel. Today, going more in details on how to extract the best tones from your Matribox II PRO. If you still didn't see my previous video reviewing the factory presets of the new Matribox II PRO, I strongly suggest you to start by there. I'll keep the link for the video at the description. If you remember well, one of my last comments was that this multi-effects really shines when it comes to custom presets. And today, we'll start going more in details on this direction, showing you how to get professional tone from this unit without needing to spend lots of money on presets pack. By the way, all the tones you hear in this video will be available for download on a free presets pack. The link will be also at the description. Without further ado, let's move! The first thing I would like to do is to create some diversity of tones for testing. For this purpose, I have chose two bands which I really like to make these examples. The first one is the Porcupine Tree, and today we'll get some tones from their most famous song, Blackest Eyes. So we'll need to create three tones, a clean tone, a modulated clean tone, and finally a high gain tone. For those who know Steven Wilson's approach towards guitar gear and signal chain, you probably know that he has some pretty peculiar decisions in terms of gear and order. His go-to amp is the Bad Cat Lynx 50, which unfortunately, it's not one of the amps inside the Matribox II PRO. So need to find something with more or less the same characteristics of it, and tweak the EQ in order to get to something close to its original tone. The amp I have finally chosen for the clean tone is the Bogner Shiva Clean, with not so much high gain combined with a Marshall 1960 cap native one. This keeps the tone beefy and clear enough to get to Steven's tone. In addition, I have added the Bucket Brigade style vibrato with a really subtle depth and synchronized rate in 1/4. To thicken a little bit the sound, I have added a compressor and a noise gate. Later, it was time to choose the reverb, as Steven tends to have pretty ambient sounds, so the chosen one was a plate reverb before the amp. Finally, we can add an additional level of modulation with a really subtle tremolo, getting to the final touch of Steven's tone. This looks pretty good for the clean tone. Now, we need to create something for the high gain. For that, I'll start a completely new signal chain, but this time using the Mesa Boogie Mark IV lead amp, combined with an external IR. In this case, the York Audio 4x12 Marshall M20, based on the 412 Marshall cap from 1976. This will give me enough control to chug without losing punch. On the gain and EQ settings, a quick tweak of the presence, mids and bass. Voila! Now we just need to add a noise gate at the beginning of the signal chain and kick a little bit more of the mids. For that, I'll add a BB preamp as a boost and a Jimmy overdrive. In order to not keep the guitar so behind in the mix, I'm not going to add reverb or delay. So finally, just a final EQ so we can do some small corrections in some frequencies, which could be a little bit higher and lower. We are almost there. For the highly modulated tone, I'll make a copy of the clean preset and change the subtle tremolo for a Univibe, which is inside the phaser group. Finally, I'll exchange the cab for an external IR from a 4x12 Celestion V30 cab, really good for low gain. Now we are all set. Let's hear how this combination will sound in practice. good, yeah? Now, let's try something a little bit different. Let's go for something more like Black Sea-ish. For the second example, I have chosen a really popular band nowadays, Ghost. If you know Ghost, probably you know that the band changed a lot the sound during the last years, adding more and more gain to the guitars and more musicians to the gig. But for today, I'm going to make a song from 2015 from Melhora album. I am talking about Cirice. For this song, only two tones, a clean one and a drive one. The clean one is used on the intro, together with the acoustic guitar, while all the other parts are played with the same drive tone. If you want to match the live sound of Ghost, you need to start with Friedman amps, so I have chosen the Flyman 1 based on the Friedman B100. In order to clean the tone, I'm going to roll down the gain almost to minimum, keeping the volume slightly higher and increasing the presence a little. To combine with this amp, we will use the same external IR of the 4x12 Celestion V30s. Now, I will add a noise gate on the beginning of the chain, a volume boost after the cab to compensate the gain reduction, a church reverb to give the proper space to the guitar on the mix, and finally a general EQ for some corrections. It is done. Now, let's do the same for the drive tone. We can copy the bass and just do some corrections in it. I'll add a tube screamer to push the amp with low gain and open tone to give a little bit more brightness. I'll also change the reverb for something more subtle, like a plate reverb with lower decay and mix. We are good to go. Let's hear how it sounds in the song context.
Can't you see that you're lost without me? I can feel the birds breaking in your heart. I can see through the scars inside you. I can feel the birds breaking in your heart. I can see through the scars inside you.
Okay, I know I still owe you some lead tones, so for that I'll take a different Ghost song from the first album. I'm talking about Genesis. For this song, a pretty simple tone. We just need to slightly reduce the gain from my drive tone on Cirice, increase the reverb sensibly, as this song has a pretty hidden guitar, and test a different effect. I'm talking about the octave. Originally this song is played with two guitars harmonizing, but for this testing purpose, I believe that the octaver will be enough to give us an idea of how it can sound. Let's take a look at it. you like it? I personally like it a lot. I am impressed with how good this thing can sound with not so much suffering to tweak the parameters and presets. The interface is ultimately intuitive, and anyone who knows the basics of signal chain setup will be able to start setting from minute 1. I'll leave all the presets I have created available for download on the link on the pinned comment. But now I want to know your opinion. Did you like how it sounded? I would appreciate your feedback and comments, so now it is your turn. Let me know in the comment section below. And as always, if this video was helpful to you somehow, consider subscribing to the channel, hitting the like button so YouTube can spread this video with many other people, and becoming a member of the channel so you can get access to special perks like anticipated video releases, exclusive Tank G and Black Box tone captures, and what is the best, monthly gear giveaway. To become a member, you just need to click in join below or read the QR code on the corner of this video. I'll catch you on the next. Keep on rocking.